Welcome to Flip Devotional, the podcast, where each week Martha Shannon, the author of Flip Devotional, the book, and Steve Shannon discuss the readings from the week. If you haven't gotten Flip Devotional, the book, it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The ebook is available on Barnes & Noble. And haven't gotten any fan mail yet, but I'm still holding out. You said you want to get more than me.
Yes, I do want to I want to win the fan mail contest.
But, if we just got any, that would be awesome.
Well, just mention Steve.
Just type in Steve. It's just like texting on your phone, really.
Yeah, we can't find
It's
you.
really super simple. So you could just say, hey, you guys are so funny, or, whatever. I don't know. I'm going to lead with something positive, but you could.
Right.
Yeah, don't say anything negative. Come on. All right. Kind of excited because we are going to finish the month of June today. We got one day. In
June
to do.
30th, last one.
And then we start July. And July has a whole new theme that we'll introduce after we finish June. July was one of the kind of the fun
Summer break, kind of.
Yes, exactly. All right, so June 30th, we have 3 passages. Genesis, chapter 18, verse 14. Jeremiah, which is kind of in the middle of the Old Testament-ish.
Yeah.
Chapter 32, 26 through 27. And then Matthew, chapter 19, verse 26.
And Matthews is quoting Jesus as well. I mean, it's in Matthew, but, it's Jesus talking, not Matthew.
Yes. Yeah, so you want to start with that one?
Oh, no, all of them. I'm just saying,
Okay.
it's I think it's important to realize that.
So in Genesis, God says...
And again, Genesis is the first book of the Bible. Mm-hmm. So this is chapter 18. So this is very early on, right? Maybe halfway through Genesis, if that much. So early on, we get this message from the Bible, which is...
Is anything too hard for the Lord?
Right. I'm assuming that's a rhetorical question.
Right. And then Jeremiah, it's God speaking again. He says, I'm the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me?
Yeah.
Again, rhetorical question.
Right. And then Matthew, Jesus looked at them and said, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. I suspect, is God talking about born again here? Jesus talking about born again in Matthew?
I don't know. Ponder that for a second while I look it up.
I'm pondering. It sounds like an answer.
Yep. Okay, I'm almost there.
Matthew 19.
So no.
Oh.
No.
I thought that was a good guess.
No. You have a second guess?
No.
So this is talking about the
Living water.
the heading is the rich and the kingdom of God. It says, teacher, what good thing must I do to gain eternal life?
The rich young guy. Yeah.
And he says, why are you asking me? And then he says, go sell your possessions and give to the poor. And he's like, it says he went away sad because he had great wealth. And then Jesus says, truly I tell you, it's hard for someone who's rich to enter the kingdom of heaven. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. And it says, the disciples said, who then can be saved? And then Jesus said, with God, all things are possible. So that's the context of that.
But again, beginning of the Bible, middle of the Bible, Jesus' own words, all things are possible.
Yeah.
So no matter where you're at, right, fully rely on God, right?
I feel like there were several musicals based on this.
Let's hear it.
So we have Oliver, I'd do anything for you.
Right. You just went through these with someone else I know.
Annie, get your gun.
Annie, get your gun.
Anything you can do, I can do better. And then Cinderella, of course. It's possible.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
With God, it's possible.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all good. I think you're absolutely correct on that one.
Had a little
root of all
connection to
music.
Broadway.
Yeah. It could be the last connection between God and Broadway.
All right. So that finishes June. Now we get to start July.
And July is a bunch of good, valuable stories, but always kind of interesting. A little different.
In the book.
If
you have the book, each month has a cover page.
Yes.
And has a little message on it. Now, if you're like my husband.
Some people say the Bible is boring.
Wait, you don't read prologues
I don't
and
read
introductions
the
and stuff?
No, I read the book.
You're probably skipping these too.
No, I'm not, because it's not a prologue.
Well, still. So go ahead and read what July says.
Some people say the Bible is boring. Nothing exciting happens. Well, did you hear the one about?
Yes. So
These are all.
every
Did you hear the one
in
about?
July. Oh, so fun. So July 1st and July 2nd are the same story. It was a long story.
Yeah, it's chapter 1 and 2.
So
right?
it's a continuation of the
it's a
story.
2-part series. Come back next week.
Yes, but we get to do it all.
Right, we're not coming back next week on this one. Right.
So it says, did you hear the one about Solomon ordering a child to be cut in half?
Yeah.
Steve, I'm going to let you tell the story. You love the story.
I love the story. One, again, it's 2 prostitutes, right? Mm-hmm. Rahab was a prostitute. This is not, doesn't diminish the story. It's just interesting that's who God used, Solomon used to tell the story, or God wrote the story, right? So what happens is these 2 women each have a child at about the same time, okay? And they were, each had a baby, and they're in the same home, right? Mm-hmm. Sleeping with the baby. Mm-hmm. We can have a little message on that at the end.
Yes, absolutely.
Sleeping with the baby. And one of the women wakes up and her baby has died at night. She goes and swaps. We have a newborn grandchild, Hallie, now 4 weeks, almost a month old, right? 4 weeks old. So maybe you can't tell that much difference. There's no pictures back then, right?
Right, and it's days.
Days.
It's probably a week old at the most.
Yes. So they get up and the babies have been swapped. So the lady wakes up, her baby's dead, the other lady's baby's fine. There you go. So they have the 2 babies. And then they start arguing. No, that's my baby. No, your baby died. This is my baby, right? So they're going back and forth. They take it to the king, Solomon. Go to Solomon with this story. So that's really July 1. It sets the pace, right? Mm-hmm. The point is, during the night, one of the 2 women, their baby died, right? So we have one dead baby, one not dead baby. And then they present this to Solomon, and Solomon has to figure out what is the right answer, right? Well, Solomon, the king, says, bring me a sword. So they brought him a sword. He gave the order, cut the living baby in 2 and give half to one and half to the other. Now, clearly, even back then, everyone knew what would happen if you cut a baby in half, right? There's no way it would not, the baby would die, obviously, right? So the woman whose son was alive was deeply moved, and she yells out, no, please, Lord, let her keep it, all right? And the other lady says, fine by me, cut it in half. I'm good. Well.
Because her baby is already
dead.
Her
baby's dead, right? So Solomon then says, give it to her, because she's the mother, because, right, that's right. They were all shocked with the wisdom from God, that Solomon. And early on, before this, Solomon asked, God said, Solomon, what do you want, right? Faith, it was money, power, wisdom. He picked wisdom. This is a case of his wisdom that he apparently had no intention of cutting the baby in half. So now there's two pieces of the story. One is unsafe sleep. And I didn't know anything about unsafe sleep till about 5 or 6 years ago. Through my work, I was on this, I still serve in this group, and we review bad things that happen to children, essentially. And one is unsafe sleep. It is a real problem. So I've been telling people about unsafe sleep. Right? Our daughter just had a child. She's heard unsafe sleep for the last 8 years. I mean, there's no doubt she understands the deal. Interesting, there's a Facebook page dedicated to how to sleep with your infant. I told her I know two forensic pediatricians who will call Facebook, take that down. There's nothing good about unsafe sleep. So that's the unsafe sleep message. The other interesting message here is Mark Twain wrote several books. One is called Puddinghead Wilson. And this guy named David Wilson shows up at this town in Missouri, and there's a dog barking. And Mr. Wilson says, if I owned half that dog, I would kill my half. And the town laughed at him. And that's how he got his nickname, Puddinghead. He must be a puddinghead because he thinks if he killed his half a dog, the other half would be okay. But Solomon's wisdom knew this will tell me who the real mother is. And that's what he did. How's that for a summary?
Very good. Interesting. There's another story in 2 Kings chapter 6 that is kind of similar. There was a famine going on, and there were two women, and they both had sons.
Yes. Elijah?
Yes, Elisha. Yes.
Elisha.
And one of them said, well, let's give up your son and we'll eat him today, so we'll live. And tomorrow we'll eat my son.
They would use to eat their children. Yes.
And so they did. They cooked the one son. And the next day, she said, okay, it's your turn to give up yours. And she's like, no. So it's just, kind of interesting. Same type of
thing. Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's 2 Kings 3:16, 22, 3:23, 28. Good story. Speaks of Solomon's power. Wisdom.
Yeah. All right. July 3rd is, so for years, Steve taught 4th and 5th grade Sunday school. And
like for a generation, 25 years.
He was going to quit one time, and they said, okay, we're going to have a little ceremony for you to thank you
after
for
church, cake and punch.
All your years of service. And he said, never mind. I don't want that. I won't quit. So, this is one verse, Judges 3, verse 31. But every year he would teach
the story.
About this story. So I'm going to read the whole thing.
Okay.
All right. It says, after Ehud,
and he ruled Israel for a while. He was one of the judges. So yeah, after him
came Shamgar, son of Anath, who struck down 600 Philistines with an ox goad. He too saved Israel. That's it. That's all you get of Shamgar. But,
One, I tried to name one of our dogs Shamgar, and I was rejected.
Maybe next time. But you just... This is one of those verses that you just need to sit with for a minute, because if you're reading the Bible, if you're reading Judges, and you're reading chapter 3, and you're like, blah, 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 all right, look, let's go on. Whoa. Did you hear what it said?
Yeah.
600 Philistines with an ox goad.
And an ox goad is what?
Like a poker?
Yeah, a long stick it's like a giant pencil. long stick with a point that you would poke an ox to get it to move. You know, oxes are big, strong, probably do what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
So that was going on. Now, the correct answer is Ehud plus God is greater than 600 Philistines. I have no problem with that. I agree with that 100%.
Shamgar.
Shamgar, sure, not Ehud. Shamgar, my bad. Shamgar plus God is greater than 600 Philistines. Anyone plus God is greater than 600 Philistines.
Yes.
But my question always to fourth and fifth graders, and if I discuss this with adults, the same question: how do you physically kill? Right? If you have God on your side, do whatever you want. But how do you kill 600 Philistines with a long stick?
Yeah.
And many, there was always, you line them all up and you stab them all the way through. 600? And I would say that 600, you would think by 220, 225, people would catch on. We got to get out of this line. He's killing us, right?
Right, exactly.
Or they're walking around, right? And they're getting killed. Where's Bob? I don't know. Oh, what happened to him? Oh, I just found it. Had a hole in him. At some point, you would think the Philistines would pay attention to somebody with an ox goad.
Right. So our only thought is that the Philistines were not incredibly smart.
That's very polite. Yes. They were not astute. They didn't analyze the data. At some point, someone should have said, wait a minute.
Yeah. Now, if we...
But if you have God, it's all possible.
Exactly. So if we take that in and perhaps God put a little, like the Wizard of Oz
sleeping
thing
scarecrow, the daisies, the flowers.
They weren't daisies. I like daisies.
Sorry, they were daisies. We don't want to offend the daisy.
No.
But this was after Ehud came Shamgar, son of Anath, who struck down 600 Philistines with an ox goad. He too saved Israel.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
No other details. Now, he makes the Bible. I don't make the Bible. Shamgar's in the Bible.
Now, there's a similar story. I don't know if you're aware of it.
Oh, I probably am, but what is it?
If you read the companion.
I have not read the companion.
Okay. So 2 Samuel chapter 23, verse 8, again, one verse.
Okay.
All right. It's a little bit longer, but listen to this. These are the names of David's mighty warriors: Joseph Bathshebeth, a Tahkemonite, was chief of the three. He raised his spear against 800 men, whom he killed in one encounter.
Yeah.
So.
He's a mighty warrior.
Same thing. 800. He did it by himself.
Right. Okay. I give him credit. I like Shamgar better. I mean, he had a spear.
An ox goad is just pretty much a spear.
A spear is made to kill. An ox goad is made to get your ox to move.
Well, still, it's
Same
going to have a
purpose.
pointy, yeah.
And there's no indication. I mean, Shamgar apparently was a farmer. The other guy was a warrior. Trained in killing.
Okay. Well, he killed 200 more.
Okay.
So
That'd be a good comment. Send us fan mail. What's the other guy's name that you have?
well,
Or the 800
can we
versus
just
600?
call him Josheb
Josheb.
or JB?
JB.
Because it
JB
was
Bershamgar.
Josheb Bathshebeth.
Yeah. Send us a message. Tell us in fan mail. Are you pro Shamgar or pro JB?
JB. Yeah.
We'll score them. I'll do the tallies. He'll be legit. There'll be no cheating.
Great. You just called me a cheater.
No, I didn't say that. I just want to make sure.
I think you did.
All right. Let's go on Independence Day.
All right. July 4th. This one says, did you hear the one about the floating axe head?
Yeah.
2 Kings chapter 6, verses 1 through 6. I like this story because Elisha showed that he cared about
I agree.
this guy. This guy borrowed an axe
Yeah, he's a very responsible guy.
from someone, and he's chopping away.
Yeah, they were meeting someplace that was too small. And so let's go someplace else. So they all took their tools. We're going to cut down and build a bigger place for all the prophets to meet.
And it says it was an iron axe head. And so he's just chopping away, choom, choom, choom. And the axe head flies off and falls into the water. He's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
He said, it was borrowed.
It shows how responsible he was. Mm-hmm. I borrowed this. I need to return it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And Elisha's like, okay, where did it fall?
And it says the man of God, not just Elisha.
Right. Where did it fall? He showed him. He cut a stick and threw it there, and then the iron floated.
Yeah, made the iron float.
And
Lifted
they
out.
just lifted it out, and everything was Jim Dandy.
Yeah.
And he could return the axe head.
Now let's go back to the borrower, right?
Yeah.
They're at this, they're on the bank, right? And what are we going to do? He watches Elisha go off and cut a stick. It's like, well, you're going to poke it down there, or think you can hook it, And then he throws the stick in, right? Threw it in there.
Now we're missing the stick.
Yeah.
And
That's right. What are you doing? And then the axe head, the iron floats, right? And Elisha just calmly lifted it out.
right.
And the man reached out and
Makes
took
you
it.
wonder how deep the water was.
Yeah, just lifted it out. I think Elisha might be one of the coolest guys in the Bible.
Ooh.
I mean, he had the robe, he got the piece from Elijah, part of the sea, carried on. He just seems to be very calm,
He does lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, kind of a Steve McQueen type of character for us older folks. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Where to go in? Like, does it matter? You throw a stick and it floats. Why do you care where it went? Does the stick float thing only has some proximity? I can't do it over 6 feet. All right.
July 5th and 6th go together.
And this is a bit more serious.
Another continuation story. It's
Yes.
Exodus chapter 3, verses 1 through 15 for both days. But this is the calling of Moses.
Yeah.
So
He's out with the sheep, right?
important story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's married. He's tending the flock of his father-in-law.
He's escaped Egypt, right? That's why he left, right?
Yeah, and so he's out there, and he notices that there's a bush on fire, but it's not burning up. So it must be seriously on fire, and he must be watching it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And
But again, if you see something on fire, you're drawn to it. We all know that, right? And it's not being consumed.
yeah. So it says, when the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him. Now, I mean, you just said everyone's going to do it, but what if he hadn't gone over to look at it? God would have had to do something else to get his attention.
Yeah, or the Israelites are still in Egypt.
But he goes over to the bush, and now not only is there a bush not burning up, but there's a voice coming out of it.
A voice coming out.
that knows who you are.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes, very good point. It's on fire. There's a voice who knows me, not just some random voice.
Like, Moses. He's like, here I am.
And he answers. He answers.
He does.
I mean, I've never been spoken to from a bush. I don't know if answering is necessarily the right answer, right? The right thing to do.
Yeah, I would probably be.
I don't know.
I would just be looking around like, what the heck?
Yeah.
All right. And then God says, don't come any closer. Okay. First of all, it's a burning bush.
Don't get too close anyway.
Yeah. And then he says, take off your sandals, for the place where you're standing is holy ground.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Your feet are better than their shoes, I guess. I don't know.
But is.
It's out of respect.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, people take their shoes off and they go to someone else's house.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't.
I don't want to do that.
But he says, and it's not because I don't respect you guys. It's just I have a foot thing. And he says, he tells him who he is. I'm the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. And then it says, at this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God.
Yeah.
Now this
is before, but we've already heard, I think, that story, right?
we've heard like the opposite.
Yeah, that's what I
where-
mean. He had the veil on because the Israelites were afraid.
Yeah.
Because his wife
Yeah,
face radiated.
but when he would go to God, he would take the
Take it
veil
off.
off
Yeah.
and look at him.
Because God would, yeah. So he's obviously is okay with God at that point.
Yeah,
But right now he's not, all right?
yeah.
But God's heard. I've heard my people, their misery, they're crying, they're suffering.
I've come down to rescue, to bring them up out of that land.
Yeah. And then he says what?
Who?
What does God say to Moses?
I'm sending you.
I'm sending you to Pharaoh, who you ran away from several years ago, right? You didn't want that, right? You protect your people. So what is Moses thinking? Whoa, 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 whoa.
But Moses lived at Pharaoh's.
Yeah. He was raised by Pharaoh's daughter.
Yeah, he lived there. So in my mind, it kind of makes sense to send him. Like he has a connection.
But he ran away because he killed somebody.
Right. But
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Now,
Does make sense. I always thought, did that previous experience being raised by the Pharaoh's daughter give Moses access?
right.
Might have. Let's see Alexander Hamilton in the room.
Yeah.
Maybe that got Moses in the room.
Yep. Yep. That's true. If you go back just a little bit, I wondered about this. He says, I've come down to rescue them, to bring them up out of that land into the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. So I don't know. Is he taking them into this land where all these other people live?
Yeah.
But those people are going to leave and make way for the Israelites?
No, they're going to kill them.
Well, yeah.
But yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So
But that's the land flowing with milk and honey.
yeah, but if you're hearing the plan of this, like, okay, so I'm going to take them out of Egypt. I'm going to take them into this land that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of people there, like that I'm thinking we don't want to live with.
Right.
Like, okay, so there's more to the plan
Right.
than just
yeah.
us going to this land. Because what about all these people?
Right.
That's just a sidestep.
Right. Yeah. But I think as we learn on later on, they get the direction. They were supposed to kill all those people.
Right. All right, then we go to July 6th, which is the rest of the story.
Yeah.
And Moses says, whoa, why me?
Yeah. who am I? But who am I that I should go to the Pharaoh and bring the Israel, right? Well, you're the only Israelites who apparently know the Pharaoh.
Right.
So
Right. Again, yeah, I think it makes sense. And God says, I'll be with you. All right, so that should be enough. Then he says, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. Okay, how long was it till they got out of Egypt,
yeah.
till they were worshiping God on that mountain?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a long time to wait for a sign that this was the right
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And I think this is
What's
the
God
Mount
thinking?
Horeb is the saying that Moses went up and got the tablets. It's the same mountain.
Okay.
I think that's I checked that out when we were looking at Mount Horeb before. So I think that's correct. But yeah, it's
I mean, when I read that, I was like, come on, God, how about a sign right now like you did with Gideon or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
An immediate sign instead of, so
Yeah.
one day when you're worshiping up here, you can say, aha,
Aha.
see?
But to Moses' credit, he acted on it. I mean, he argued, right?
He did. And he was like, and he did ask, for a little bit more clarification. It's like, okay, so when I do this and they say, who sent you? What am I going to say?
Yeah.
The burning bush?
Yeah. I talked to the bush called my name. Really? But as I am who I am. Mm-hmm. Right? So, to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you.
Yep. Yeah. And then he repeats that the God of your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And
yeah.
he's like, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
but it's
the burning
interesting
bush.
that Moses, and we've heard about the burning bush a lot, right?
Yeah.
But it speaks to nothing is too much for God, right? Nothing's too hard. Anything too hard for God, right?
Yeah. You want to go back to the musicals?
Yes, it is. I love them so much. June 30th. It's too hard for Moses.
Yep.
But God says, I'll be with you, right? Mm-hmm. And God's with us, right? We don't have the burning bush experience. But in some way of our life, we probably have a similar experience where we know God is with us, whatever it may be, right? I can't think of one offhand. Whatever it may be. But, right, I am who I am.
Yep.
And he was reluctant.
Mm-hmm. He's very reluctant. Yeah.
And that's how Aaron got involved, right?
Right.
But still.
Because Moses kept going, but.
But good stuff. Yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah.
July.
So, again, Burning Bush isn't necessarily a news story for us, but it's, where else are you reading about Burning Bush besides the Bible?
Correct. Yeah. A burning bush that talks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Cool stuff.
Yes, it is cool stuff. But it's also be prepared to meet God in unanticipated places.
Okay. I like that.
Thank you.
You done?
I'm done. Yes, sorry.
Thanks for listening to this week's Flip Devotional, the podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, download, share with your friends. And if you haven't gotten Flip Devotional, the book, it's still available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Have a great week, and we will see you next week.